Hi, I'm Mike Turner. I work as Senior Designer with DGDesign. I'm an industrial designer with 24 years worth of industry experience under my belt so far. The work I do has always had a transport design focus, mostly working in non-automotive design sectors. Uh, would describe myself as an industrial designer with a strong sort of digital CAD bias. I've been an alias pilot for the past 23 years. And my daily work is focused on concept definition, development of data for prototyping and detail and refinement to get ready for production. I author the services that use to lay down production tooling. I've had quite a diverse career background so far. I've been involved in passenger rail vehicle design, interiors and exteriors, motorcycles and general handheld products. I've specifically focused on construction machinery and off-highway vehicle design. I do have some first-hand automotive experience. I've designed mobile phones. I've got involved in land speed record vehicle design, sort of motorsport engineering. I've designed stuff for Hot Wheels. I've developed surfaces for those guys. And I've been involved in educational projects with Coventry University to develop the next generation of talent. But coming back to where we are now, I'm in a hands-on role with DGDesign. DGDesign itself is a UK-based transportation consultancy. Historically, we've been based in sort of rail and transportation bus work in those sectors, looking at public transport systems. Since I've joined, we've increasingly got into construction vehicle design, and we're now getting into bespoke automotive design work ourselves. We're a small team. There's only 4 of us on the books at the minute, but we regularly get described as punching above our weight in terms of the projects we win, the clients we get to work with, and the quality of our output. So it's a great team to be involved in. It's a great environment in which I can learn. So to talk a little bit about VRED, I'm a relative newcomer to it myself. I've been using it for sort of 2.5 years now on a day-to-day basis. I have had some formal training, but a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about is largely self-taught. I wouldn't say I was an expert user. The software's got a lot to it, but I'm more than happy to share what I know. My initial experiences of VRED have been that it's been easy to use, easy to get started with. It's friendly to newcomers and people that aren't from necessarily a visualization background. You can produce acceptable images, VR and even animation assets fairly easily with limited prior knowledge. However, the more you get into it, the more there is to be tapped into, and that's what I want to try and help with. So I'm doing this series of blogs, which is going to be pitched at relative newcomers to VRED. I want to offer practical tips so that people can get a little bit more out of the software, maybe learn particular techniques that I've adopted myself, and maybe understand a bit more about the broader usage of VRED within design generally. So the blogs will be structured to give tips to build on that beginner knowledge, to help smooth out your workflow, to give you nicer output, and to tackle more ambitious techniques in terms of imaging. We'll maybe do a deep dive here and there onto particular images and things I've produced in the past to dissect the techniques that I put in place to achieve the particular result. I'll walk through that VRED setup, the stages of the work and the output process, and hopefully be able to share some assets with you guys that you can have a play and learn yourselves using the tools that I put on me. Because we're a consultancy, we want to offer a industry insight. We want to talk about VRED usage within DGDesign in a live and recent project context. We want to explain how and where VRED fits into our workflow. We'll give you anecdotes, we'll talk about the strengths of the software, and also maybe things that we've struggled with and things that we're still getting our heads around. Beyond this, I'd like to touch on some of my personal work, the after-hours stuff. I do self-set automotive projects in my spare time, inspired by race and rally cars that have always inspired me. And that's where I use VRED to really experiment and play around with things, to unlock new techniques, unlock new learning, which I can then apply back into my day job. So I'm hoping some of that can be of use to you as well. So we're impartial. We're not here to sell the software particularly, only really explain what we do. And we're not big corporate, we're about grassroots usage. We're the little guys that are often working with limited resource and budget. So we're figuring out how to get the most out of the software without necessarily using the best assets in the world and having the biggest libraries of resources available to us. So in presenting this, what I'm after is a little bit of community engagement. I'm prepared to share what I know. I'm prepared to talk about things we're struggling with. I don't necessarily have all the right answers. I don't have the best answers, but I'm hoping I can get expert inputs and feedback from the community at large, which will help me, and I can share that information back to you guys. I've got an outline script for how I think I want to cover this and the main things that I want to touch on, but the script is live. It'll vary based on the input and engagement that I get back from you guys. If there's things you want to go into in a bit more depth, we can cover that. That's fine. But the philosophy I'm working to is very much of the mindset that, if I can pick up this software from a standing start, you can too. And I'm here to try and help with that. I'll share with you what I've learned. And I hope that you find that quite interesting and informative, and certainly particularly in the context of how we're using it. I hope you get some value from that. So I hope you enjoy the series when it arrives, and I'll see you guys soon for episode 1. Thanks very much.